Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Sagittarius, November 14, 2022. It can be problematic in the first half of the day to get onto the same page as others or to keep plans running smoothly. It's best to avoid pushing your agenda with a Venus-Mars transit in play. The problem now is that people either won't budge on an issue or they waver, lacking the confidence or presence of mind to make a firm decision. Instead, a dilemma between your personal and social lives keeps you in limbo or a little tense. There are better days for getting your needs met, but you would do well for yourself if you examine what you truly need. A pause may be necessary now. Emotions run hot and cold but tend to smooth out as the day advances. There can be nice turnarounds in your personal life. Lending an ear can help boost a connection. It's a good time for negotiations with family or about home and family matters. One of the most difficult periods of the year is here to face you. This is because the mighty Sun, your great ruler and the brightest luminary in our sky, continues his path through your solar fourth house of home, family, and domesticity. Icy Saturn stands across the sky from you in your solar seventh house of partnerships and will hiss at the Sun, which means that a relationship and family matters could see tragedy, hardship, or pain crop up. Do your best to listen to your kindred and face what comes up. Depression, sorrow, and bad news could be around every corner. Do you need to revitalize the foundation or core elements of your professional agreements? Hopefully, you feel invigorated by the key aspects of your commitments when the Sun in Scorpio squares Saturn in Aquarius. Ideally, you are in it for the long haul with your partnerships and responsibilities. However, you do not want to feel limited by these commitments either, especially as your work and life balance changes or if you want to focus on something else. Be open to seeking compromise so that you can proudly represent your relationships and agreements. At the same time that Venus, the planet of money's friendly aspect to dreamy Neptune in your financial sector, has helped to inspire your imagination and some wishful thinking over recent days, things now take a more practical turn. It is Mercury who moves into a friendly aspect to Neptune today, with the focus less on what's possible and more on when, where, and how that can help turn dreams into reality. Today's transit gives you the energy to communicate with those you love in an effective manner. Sometimes you can be too soft, or afraid of how criticism will make the other person feel. The planets today can give you the words to say without being too harsh. Likewise, it's time to critically examine your own behavior in terms of your health and wellness, and don't spare your feelings. You'll be thankful later for the discipline you employ today. It's an 12 vibration that's in the air, and you may find yourself feeling rather pensive today. The 12 is a master vibration that calls to the spirit and urges understanding. Answers to the bigger questions in life are more sought after than usual, and you may find yourself asking, why, a great deal. This is a powerful influence, as all too often that question isn't asked enough, and you have only knowledge to gain by being forthright. Don't hold back today. 5. After a friendly aspect to Saturn yesterday, for the first time since his direct turn in your relationship sector, the Moon wraps up its monthly visit to your friendship sector with an alignment with Mars, for the first time since his retrograde turn here. This not only wraps up a positive few days for friendship and relationship building, but in a way that is a taste of things to come. With Mars and Saturn continuing to work as a team, this is just a small window into what is developing behind the scenes. After a friendly aspect to Saturn in your relationship sector yesterday, the Moon is spending its final hours in your friendship sector aligned with Mars, for the first time since the planet of passion and the warrior planet of the cosmos turned retrograde. As well as wrapping up a positive few days for friendship and relationship building, this is a window into the powerful forces that will keep the momentum going long after the Moon leaves. Our eyes in the sky. Saturn squares the Sun early this morning, and will have a greater sense of responsibility, duty, and structure. Attention will be focused on doing the most practical thing and whatever makes the most sense. Our emotional nature will ease into a more intense vibe. We could withdraw from socializing with loved ones and acquaintances. It can be harder to hold conversations under this influence, and avoiding important talks could lead to arguments. You will make a terrific new friend related to your job in some way. This valuable resource will be more important to you than you realize. This person is a little strange and awkward, but overall, he or she has valuable information that you can benefit from. What makes this a potential game changer and an opportunity for a major breakthrough for both you and your relationships is that this is the first total lunar eclipse in Taurus in 2 decades. What adds to this is the fact that the lunar eclipse peaks just as the moon aligns with Uranus, the planet of surprise, synchronicity, and the unexpected, and as the Sun and Mercury, the planet of communication, are aligned in your relationship sector. This is the right trigger at the right time. Someone you work with will unexpectedly need your help. It is not necessary for you to completely drop everything for this person, but you should indeed try to help him or her. Work together and you will reach great success. Someone will pick you up and take you under his or her wing. This extra support will be of great benefit to you now. Don't resist this assistance. This boost is the exact key that you are looking for. Together you can soar to new heights. Protect your energy if you have to at this time. Be aware of your perspective amid other opinions. During this transit, we could be more likely to sacrifice our own needs and let people push their agendas on us. Focus on yourself to avoid uncomfortable moments with others at this time. Just after midnight, the Sun squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, putting us in a heavy headspace. We feel restricted, unable to act the way we want to. While the Sun is in Scorpio, all our desires and passions come into sharp relief. Yet, Saturn reminds us that we have obligations to others. It is not always about us, and we must work to earn our keep. It can also seem as though we are up against the clock now. Deadlines or time limits provoke extra stress, and instead of rising to the task, we look for vices to distract us. We are not above creating chaos, pulling the fire alarm to get out of taking the exam, so to speak. But our duties aren't going away. If we rise to the occasion, we can exit this period with a feeling of accomplishment. If we avoid our responsibilities, they will only catch up with us at a later date. This is something that at this time of year can energize both sides of the financial fence and act as a trigger. However, both sides are so ripe with potential and support it was only ever going to take the smallest trigger, and this is the granddaddy of them all. This could have unexpected implications across the income, work, and career fronts, while a real breakthrough is possible on both sides of the financial fence. It is in the second half of the week that things will start to settle. Following this, the Gemini moon squares off with Neptune in Pisces, causing us to misread interactions and deceive ourselves. Our idealistic nature can be taken advantage of by those who sense our confusion and vulnerability. Yet, we are typically the ones who volunteer ourselves for disappointment by putting our trust in the wrong people. Exercise discernment to avoid compromising yourself.